Hey everybody, it's Grady with HeadsUpPro.com. This is our fourth demonstration video on YouTube. Before I begin, I just wanted to invite you guys over to HeadsUpPro.net or HeadsUpPro.com. We own both domains, they both go to the same place. And come fill out an application. There's no obligation, it just tells us a little bit about yourself and if you are a possible candidate, someone that we can help take your game to a professional level. Like I've mentioned before, our material is advanced. We are able to work with beginners, but it's going to take more time naturally. Our material is targeted at advanced to intermediate players that just want an absolute strategy in the heads-up game that can provide them with a very steady stream of income. So that being said, I'm going to move on to this demonstration today. It's currently 9:45 Las Vegas time on September 24th. I won about 5 out of 7 games today and wanted to make this video real quick before I turned in for the night. This game I was playing up against Ryan Echlin. This was either a $30 or $40 game. I was playing in 30 and 40s all night tonight, so I don't remember. Anyhow. So what I want to talk about here, this was a skilled player. Very, yeah, he was sharp. He was unpredictable. I'd say he's kind of a tight aggressive. But what I want to talk about here and demonstrate is how to play against a short stack and how to, when you get them down to 1,000 or less and then 500 or 600 or less, how to kind of monopolize the game so it makes it very difficult for him to get back in. And remember, these videos on YouTube are just the tip of the iceberg of what is actually in the courses that we offer over at HeadsUpPro.com. These are just examples of the material in action, and it's proven. I invite you to look up my stats if you have any of those geeky softwares. That being said, I'll go ahead and start rolling. I'm going to wing it, so forgive me if I don't know exactly what happens hand by hand here. Okay, right here he's got the lead. I'm going to slow this down a bit. In fact, this was a crucial hand. So I'm going to manually do this one. I have it set so you can preview his hand. Alright, so I had ace-8, and in position I double the blind, which is something we do regularly. He's going to flat call. I get a pair of 8s on the flop. He makes a weak bluff at it. I call. I don't like the 6 on the turn because now my 8 has been reduced to kind of the weakest board card. He fires out another bet. Based on some of the prior play here, I put him on two. Actually, I put him on 2 overcards, 2 big cards here. Either that or I thought maybe he had a 7, but I wasn't buying the 6. I wasn't buying the 9, so I called. I got an ace on the river to give me aces up. Still concerned about the 6s. So here's a tough situation here because this is a good player. He checks, and I remember I did think he had 9, and it was kind of a coin flip in my head. Do I want to value bet here and see if he'll call with a 9, or do I want to bet and risk getting check raised? Well, I bet kind of pretty small. I should have bet more there. And I think he read that as a weak steal because he raised me, and he raised me big time. And I didn't see a raise of 600 chips being like a value raise. It just reeked to me of him trying to steal it, and perhaps unintentionally I set that up with a weak value bet. So I made the call, took down a big pot, and took him down to 780 chips. So it was all downhill from here for this guy. I'm going to slow it down and just kind of autoplay and pick it up as we go here. But I want you to just kind of watch how I play when I'm up against a short stack. A lot of the times when players become a short stack, they get absolutely reckless, start shoving all in, and that's a style of play that we welcome with open arms, because all we have to do is stick around and wait to win, like you saw in our second video. And you want to apply pressure when you can, because now the blinds are getting more and more expensive for him. This was a pretty safe hand for me. I got a nice top pair. Queen kind of freaked me out, but still got to make that value bet. So now I got him under 500. Once we get him under about 300, we'll pretty much call an all-in bet with anything. And I say pretty much because I'm not going to call with like a 3-5 or a 3-4, but I don't want to call with just 2 cards if he's going to shove with 500 chips, because you double them up and then it's just like hitting the reset button. You go from a 5-1 favorite to a 2-1 favorite, and that's just bad poker. So we've got about 14 hands left. I'm going to speed this up just a touch because I think I just kind of steal the next few hands here. If anything happens, I'll pause it. I'm speeding it up here. Really not making any plays against him. If he's bluffing me, he's bluffing me. Here, let me slow this down. This looks like a moneymaker. Alright, so here I flop queens, and I'm kind of slow playing it. He checks, and I should have bet here. I didn't make anything on it, and the reason I didn't was my thinking was either he has nothing and he's going to make a move and pay me, or he doesn't, and I guess he didn't, but I probably could have got something. This was a big hand here. He had a up and down draw, and actually let me slow this down because this was a big hand. Let's start over. Alright, so this is me from the button. Got a pocket pair of 4s. I'm probably going to double, and he'll call. He's got a nice little up and down straight draw, but he's on the dummy end of it. My 4s are good. It's about, I'd say we're about 50-50 right here. Actually, no, he's probably a favorite because if he catches a 9 or a 10, so I'm actually behind, but he's going to check. I want to take it down right now. That doesn't happen. 7 doesn't help either of us. He checks again. I check behind. I did not have him on a draw. So he misses his draw on the river. Fires out a bet of 120. I thought if he has anything at all, he might have a jack. And this would be a good kind of defensive bet, but it was a coin flip, and since I was getting 3-1 odds, pot odds, I said screw it, made the call, took it down. So now he's up Schitt's Creek. He's got less than 300, and like I said a second ago, really I'll call with almost anything if he shoves all in. But I also want to be careful not to double him up if I don't have anything, like in that hand right there. 2-7, I'm not going to make plays. I'm just going to wait. Just going to wait around, be patient, not put him back in it. See, I'm not raising because I don't want to antagonize him when I have something like 6-3. If I'm going to take it down, I'm just going to bet the minimum and take it down cheaply. The only way he's going to double up through us is by catching a really good hand when we catch a second best one. And it happens. But we're going to minimize his odds of winning as much as humanly possible. So now he's really grinded down now to